welcome back. We continue on with season 2 of your show, a place designed for you to unplug, find encouragement, and share with all those around you so they too can know what it truly means to be young and alive. As always, we have prepared a great episode for you this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. And remember, we are Youth Alive.
Hello and welcome to this episode entitled Did You Know? Now today I want to share with you a fun historical fact that you'll find hard to believe. Hi, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hello.
Take a
Hi.
seat. Okay, so the Eiffel Tower. It's getting rusty. Needs a whole lot of maintenance. And it all just costs too much, we just can't afford it at this point. So we want you, yes, you, to spend some money and buy the Eiffel Tower and then use it for metal scrap. I'm sold. Where do I have to pay? Oh, you could just hand me the money. That's right. Did you know that the Eiffel Tower was not just sold once, but almost twice by the same man? Now, this con man was called Victor Lustig, and he was sort of like a movie-style type of scammer. Now, to us, it might seem ridiculous and almost impossible that the Eiffel Tower could have been sold since it's become such an iconic landmark. But to understand why it was so easy for someone to get tricked into buying the iconic tower, we first have to know a little bit of history about it. Now, the Eiffel Tower was constructed in 1889 for the Paris World's Fair, but it was to be dismantled in 1909. However, they didn't do this because the tower was so tall that they decided to use it as a radio tower during the First World War. After some time, though, keeping up with it, its maintenance, and paying for all of it became far too costly. So now we jump to 1925, which is around the time where Victor Lustig got his idea about what to do with the tower. So it was completely plausible that it could just be sold for scrap metal. And Lustig saw an opportunity in this, and so he got to work. To start off, Lustig got papers from the telephone, the telegraph, and the government department of public works, and even a fake ID. Then he sent out 5 letters to the top scrap metal salvaging companies, and he offered them the honor of bidding on a government project. And they were invited to the Krillin Hotel. Now, this hotel was well known for holding diplomatic or government or super official meetings. So it was a well-known place, and this made all the companies feel like this was pretty legit. So the day came, and 5 representatives from each of the companies arrived. So then Lustig gave a convincing presentation about how the upkeep, the maintenance, was just too costly for the state, and that the best thing they could do was take down the tower and use it for metal scrap. He also warned them, though, that this move could be a little controversial in the public, so they needed to keep things quiet. All 5 representatives agreed, so they said nothing of it. Then he took them out to lunch on a fancy limo. Then with his nice fake ID, he went to the tower and got in and gave them the grand tour. Now this was all pretty convincing, so they were ready to bid. But he told them he needed their bids by tomorrow. And as soon as Victor Lustig had the money, he got on a train and went straight to Vienna. Now in Vienna, he waited and waited. He was expecting his name on newspapers, saying how he had done the biggest scam in the history of France. But thing is, the guy who actually fell for it was so embarrassed by what happened, he didn't tell anyone, not even the police. So nothing happened. Then Lustig saw that no one had noticed that he had secretly sold the Eiffel Tower. So he thought, well, if it didn't work once, maybe it'll work again. And so he went back to Paris and tried the whole thing again. He sent out 5 more letters to 5 other companies and repeated the same thing. However, the guy the representative from the company that he was trying to sell it from this time was a little more careful. He did a little more background checking on him, and he got caught. The police went right after him, but he was able to get away just in time. So now you know how the Eiffel Tower was secretly sold once and almost a second time. This has been Did You Know? And remember, we are Youth Alive.
Sports! That's my pick of the week. In Youth Alive, we love sports. We know that they are very beneficial for us. They have a lot of benefits. For example, they are very healthy, it will give you discipline, and you can make a lot of friends. But the most important thing is that you can enjoy sports with your family. So let's see some of our Youth Alive friends enjoying sports with their families.
This is our buddy Brainer, the best quarterback in Houston area. He's enjoying a really good afternoon with his family, watching him playing what he likes to play, football. And actually, he's really good, or at least that is what he said. And now we have our friend Austin Patterson with his father James. They were enjoying an excellent playoff game in a huge stadium and in a beautiful city, New Orleans. For me, that is perfect. Beautiful games with beautiful people in a beautiful place. More than perfect.
Beautiful, right? Enjoying your favorite sport with your favorite people. That is Youth Alive. I will stay here. I need to practice a little bit more. And I will see you later, guys. Remember, we are... Oh, God. Youth Alive.
Hello! This is In the Works. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to say banana in American Sign Language. Banana. Orange. Orange. Watermelon. Water. Water. Melon. Apple. 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 Okay, so let's recap. Banana. Orange. Watermelon. And apple. That's it. We'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, and remember, we are Youth Alive.
Welcome back to Upgrade. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about friendships. Yes, friendships. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let's read Proverbs 5.
My son, pay attention to my wisdom, listen carefully to my wise counsel. Then you will show discernment, and your lips will express what you've learned. For the lips of an immoral woman are as sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end she is as bitter as poison, and as dangerous as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down at death, her steps lead straight to the grave. For she cares nothing about the path to life. She staggers down a crooked trail and doesn't realize it. So now, my sons, listen to me. Never stray from what I'm about to say. Stay away from her. Don't go near the door of her house. If you do, you will lose your honor and will lose to merciless people all you have achieved. Strangers will consume your wealth, and someone else will enjoy the fruit of your labor. In the end, you will groan in anguish when disease consumes your body. You will say, "How I hated discipline! If only I had not ignored all the warnings! Oh, why didn't I listen to my teachers? Why didn't I pay attention to my instructors? I have come to the brink of our utter ruin, and now I must face public disgrace."
Let's dissect these verses a bit more. In verses 4 to 6, it talks about an immoral woman who is very appealing at first, but in the end, she is toxic and leads you to the wrong path. Now, this immoral woman could be anyone in your life who does not follow God's path, but instead follows their own understanding, their own path, or maybe the world's path on what they should do, because they do not know God. They don't know His commandments. Now, as we continue in verses 7 to 14, God warns us to stay away from the immoral woman. He warns us to guard our hearts and live by His commandments. Because in the end, surrounding yourself with toxic friendships, toxic relationships, this immoral woman will lead you to a path away from God. And in the end, you'll face the consequences of disobeying Him and regret your decision. So, with these verses, God is telling us that there are some friendships, some relationships that are not the right fit for us as His children. Those relationships or friendships that start out sweet and exciting, but turn to bitterness. Take, for example, the slow lorises, an animal that looks so sweet with its big eyes and soft fur, but it turns out they are the world's only venomous primate. You don't want to mess with them. So now what? Am I saying that we can't have any friends? Of course not. In verses 15 to 20, God tells us to drink from our own well. Our well is this Youth Alive family, the family of ICT. He calls us to build relationships and friendships with those that believe in Him, because those friendships and relationships will help us get closer to Him, will push us towards God's path, bring us blessings, love, and joy. I mean, take a look at the examples that we have within our ministry. Your leaders have created and built relationships and friendships with God as the foundation. I know COVID-19 kind of puts a wedge into these friendships, but that's why there's FaceTime calls. That's why there's texting. Reach out to your Youth Alive family to build those relationships that will last a lifetime. So let's recap. Be aware of the immoral woman. Stay away from the immoral woman or those toxic relationships that prevent you from getting close to God. And finally, build relationships and friendships with God as the foundation. This was Upgrade, and remember, we are Youth Alive.
Wow, what an episode! That was entertaining, upgrading, and encouraging. This is why we're asking you to send this week's episode to 3 friends. You hear me? 3 friends, so they too can be reminded what it means to be young and alive. And as for you, don't forget to join us next week here through Periscope so we can continue to remind ourselves that we are Youth Alive.